Hello everyone, good morning. Chapter 6, Information Security, Firewall and VPNs. So just a recap about the information security. So it refers to the process and methodologies which are designed and implemented to protect print, electronics, or any other form of confidential, private, and sensitive information or data from unauthorized access, use, misuse, disclosure, destruction, modification, or disruption. So in other words, to make it clear, information security from the word itself is to make our information being secured or protected. So in security, to be out of danger or any other harmful activities that can harm our files or documents or data from our computer. What is a firewall? A firewall defined as a security device, the computer hardware or software that can help protect your network by filtering traffic and blocking outsiders from gaining unauthorized access to the private data on your computer. It also helps block malicious software from infecting your computer. So, if there's someone who tries to access your network from your computer, the hackers or the intruders cannot control or connect it because your device is being protected or secured because of the firewall. So firewall, from the word itself, fire and a wall. Just kidding. So later we will learn that why is it called or named firewall when we go further from this report discussion. What does a firewall do? A firewall acts as a gatekeeper. It monitors to gain access to your operating system and blocks unwanted traffic or unrecognized sources. Gatekeeper. So it assesses who is in or out. So just like, for example, school guard. So in school there are rules and regulations that students must follow, so and policies. So if the students, for example, not wearing a school uniform or an school ID, he or she cannot enter the school because it is the rules that the schools implemented to know if you are a student on that school. Besides, if you don't have any, it means that you are not a student of that school and you are not allowed to enter that school. So in this example, no image. There is a computer, internet, the hacker, and the server, also the firewall. So the computer is connected to the internet and to the server. So the data from the computer pass to the server, though the hacker connects to the internet, both the computer and the server and the hacker connect to the internet. However, he cannot access what you are doing on your computer or the data from your computer because of the firewall. So it means it filters the traffic so that the hacker cannot access or gain control to your computer. Its purpose is to create a safety barrier between a private network and the public internet. So, as the picture earlier shows, shows the safety barrier. So, building structure firewall. So as I have mentioned earlier, the firewall, the fire and the wall, the picture earlier. So this is the term firewall historically gets its name from the physical concrete barriers running from the basement to the roof in buildings to limit the spread of fire and heat from one portion of the building to another. So in this picture, in the middle is the building structure, the firewall. So once na magkaroon ng fire ang building, hindi niya mapapasok yung kabilang unit because of the firewall. So if ever wala yung firewall, this will happens. The fire will spread to another units in the building. How does a firewall works? A firewall works like a traffic guard at your computer's entry point or port. Only trusted sources or IP addresses are allowed in. So IP addresses are important because they identified a computer or source, just like our postal addresses, where it identifies where we live. So a traffic guard, just imagine, what does a traffic guard do? So since marami yung mga sasakyan na dumadaan sa kalsada, sa highway, so the traffic guard controls it or monitor it. So yung mga sasakyang pinagbabawal is hindi makakapasok o hindi makakadaan sa kalsada, and the other vehicles also that is not, hindi siya para doon, may iba siyang ruta, so hindi rin siya makakapasok doon because the traffic guard monitors, controls the traffic, just like firewall. It's similarly to a traffic guard based on how it works. Firewall rules. So the firewall rules can be based on IP address, domain names, protocols, programs, ports, and keywords. So let's just take a look at this picture. The firewall rules, the access control list. So it has a permission, IP address, protocol, destination, or port. So its permission is either to allow or to deny. Just like also this picture. So just for example, in port, so only the port who has been allowed can enter. Just like this, the port 80, 25, and 110 are its permission are allowed. So, kapasok siya naka-access. While the port number 23, 33, 89 denied. So, can't access. Also, in IP address, take a look at this picture, IP address. The IP address that the permissions allowed can only access, and while the permission denied cannot access. Types of firewalls. So types of firewalls can be hardware firewall, which is the physical, the software firewalls, the internal, and cloud-based firewalls, also known as the firewall as a service. So hardware firewall. Hardware firewalls is physical, like broadband router, where it's stored between your network and gateway. The software firewalls is internal, a program on your computer that works through port numbers and applications. The cloud-based firewall, one benefit that they can grow with your organizations. The firewall types, the packet filtering firewall. So packet filtering firewall is a management program that can block network, traffic, IP protocol, and IP address and a port number. This type of firewall is the most basic form of protection and is meant for smaller networks. Is an image of a packet filtering firewall. So I have also a video about the packet filtering firewall where I found it, or I get it on the YouTube. And some of the videos that I got from the YouTube is I do some edits, make it shorten, and so here is the video of packet filtering firewall. So from the video, the destination with the IP address and the port number, the permission where it was allowed can pass through to the server. The proxy service firewalls. A proxy service firewalls is a system that can help to protect your network security by filtering messages at the application layer. So here is an image of the proxy service firewall. It essentially serves as a gateway or middleman between your internal network and outside servers on the web, also known as a gateway firewall. So here is another video for proxy service firewalls or the proxy server. This one.
What is a proxy server? So that is the topic of this video. Now, a proxy server is a server that retrieves data out on the internet, such as a web page, on behalf of a user. So, for example, normally when a computer wants to view a web page out on the internet, you would just open up a web browser and then type in the address and retrieve that web page from its web server. Now, when you go through a proxy server, the proxy server will act like a middleman and will retrieve that web page for you. So now, when you want to go to a website, the proxy server receives the request from your computer, and the proxy server will directly retrieve the web page on your behalf and then send it to your computer. So the question is, why would you want to use a proxy server? Well, a proxy has several benefits, and one benefit is privacy, because it allows you to surf the internet anonymously, because it hides your IP address. Because without using a proxy, and when you visit a website, your public IP address is visible, so certain people can know which websites you're visiting. But when you use a proxy, your IP address becomes invisible, because as the proxy server is retrieving the web page for you, only the IP address of the proxy server can be seen viewing the web page. So your IP address stops here, and then the proxy IP does the rest of the work.
It is considered the most secure form of firewall because it prevents networks from directly contacting other systems. Next is Unified Threat Management, or the UTM firewall. It's a program that combines the functions of SMLI firewall with intrusion prevention and antivirus. Additional services like cloud management may be included under the UTM umbrella of services. The UTM is a single appliance blended threats protection. So a firewall, the VPN, gateway, anti-spyware, routing capabilities, web security, bandwidth management, IPS, email anti-spam filtering. Here is another video for YouTube.
As an OEM to business owner, part of your responsibility is understanding the threats that put your business at risk. You might think that because having a small business, it won't make you an attractive target for cyber criminals, right? Wrong. In fact, 85% of data breaches occur at the small business level because businesses are less aware of how they're exposed to threats and aren't as likely to have capable risk management systems in place. Plus, 3 out of 4 data breaches are caused by human error, an employee falling for a phishing attack, downloading malware, losing a mobile device, or even just making an honest mistake. Fortunately, only out of small businesses can rely on Directive to protect their networks. We understand the tools and best practices that large corporations use and apply these same tactics to small businesses. We can block threats from getting in, or filter web content to control and monitor what your users do on the net, and set up easy-to-use VPNs to securely access your network while out of the office.
Host-based firewall. A software firewall that is installed on a computer and it protects that computer only. As an example for that is the window firewalls. The window firewalls and the zone alarm free firewall. The zone alarm is the popular third-party host-based firewall for Windows. Network-based firewall. So network-based firewall, the combination of hardware and software where it protects the entire network. So kabug-usan na hiya nga protect niyan entire network. So kabug-usan not only the computer but the whole network. So network-based firewall can be standalone firewall, router firewall, and cloud firewall. The standalone firewalls mainly used by large organizations where it protects the entire network, not only the computer or the users, but the whole network. The router firewalls is the built-in components of a router a lot of small organizations to rely on. The cloud firewalls can be deployed server provider cloud infrastructure. So a cloud firewall is like a bank with scattered resources, but instead of money, the cloud stores data and computational power, where authorized users can connect to the cloud from anywhere and on almost any network. Firewalls categorized by structure. These are the commercial grade firewall appliances, residential grade firewall software, can be hardware based, software based, or the appliance based devices. Commercial grade firewall appliances. Firewall that is completely independent from client computers. It runs on the firmware of a switch and is maintained through a direct connection to the switch. Via that connection, it can be configured to block and allow different kinds of traffic. The residential grade firewall software is a method of protecting the residential user by installing a software directly on user's system. These applications claim to detect and prevent intrusion into user's system without affecting usability. So its example is the Microsoft Windows Firewall. The hardware-based, as I have mentioned earlier, the standalone firewalls. The software-based or appliance-based devices are few moments. They are the internal, or they are the program on your computer. Firewall architectures. This configuration that works best for a particular organization depends on three factors: the objectives of the network, the organization's ability to develop and implement the architectures, and the budget available for the function. Three factors: objectives, the ability to develop and implement, and the budget available for the function. There are three main risks of not having a firewall. So these are the open access, lost or compromised data, the network access. Open access. If you don't have a firewalls, you are accepting every connection into your network from anyone, where you don't have any way to detect incoming threats, where it could leave your devices vulnerable to malicious users. Open access. So someone can have an access to your computer. Lost or compromised data. If you don't have a firewall on your computer, it could leave your devices exposed, which you could allow someone to gain control over your computer or network. The cyber criminals use it to commit identity theft or financial fraud. So once na they have an access in your computer, they can control it. And the network crashes. Without firewall, attackers could shut down your network, getting it running again and attempting to recover your stored data, and could leave your time and money. So, open access, lost compromised data, and network crashes. Once you are accepting connections from anyone, they can control what over on your computer network, and once they have the control, they can shut down your network and they will try it to run again and to recover your stored data, and you don't have any access to that data. So the hackers of the can have the access on your computer. Just to take note, the firewalls are a key part of security technology, especially when the different types of firewalls work together to provide an umbrella of protection. Firewalls can help keep your network, computer, and data safe and secure. So that is how firewall very important to your computer to provide security. Four common architectural implementations of firewalls. The packet filtering routers, screened host firewalls, dual-homed firewalls, and the screened subnet firewalls. The packet filtering routers. So as I have shown the video and discussed this earlier, this is the packet filtering router. Packet filtering router used as a first generation firewall. So the trusted network and an untrusted network. So the untrusted network, block data packets. Trusted network, filter data packets. So the firewall filter the data packets where the untrusted network cannot gain access to your computer or devices. The screened host firewall system is called a bastion host to which all outside hosts connect, rather than allowing direct connection to others, less secure internal hosts. To achieve this, a filtering router is configured so that all connections to the internal network from the outside network are directed toward the bastion host. So, also called a single home bastion host. The bastion host, we have here the private network, information server, internet, and the packet filtering router where it filters the traffic before it reaches to the bastion host. Since it is less secure in its internal host, you have to configure the packet filtering router so that the connections to the internal network from the outside network are directed toward the bastion host. The dual home bastion host. It is an application-based firewall and first line of defense or protection technology between a trusted network such as a corporate network and an untrusted network such as the internet. It is a common term used to describe any gateways, firewalls, or proxies that directly provide secure applications and services to any untrusted network. Here we have same as the previous image, the screen host firewalls. We have here the internet, the packet filtering router, information server, bastion host, and the private network. So it is the first line of defense or protection technology between the trusted and the untrusted network. The trusted network, which is the corporate network, and the internet as the untrusted network. So internet, we have here the internet, the packet filtering router. So we have the packet filtering router so that it will filter the traffic before it reaches to bastion host. If whether the bastion host will retrieve its data to the private network or to the server. Next is the screened subnet firewalls. The screened subnet, also known as triple-homed firewall, is a network architecture that uses a single firewall with 3 network interfaces. So this figure, you have here the internet, packet filtering router, information server, the bastion host, the modem, packet filtering router, again, private network. Private network is the reach to the bastion host and the internet, also to the bastion host web, and it is filtered by a router. The interface 1 is the public interface and connects to the internet. Since it is also known as triple home firewall, but single firewall with 3 network interfaces. The second interface connects to a DMZ, the demilitarized zone, to which hosted public services are attached host. The interface 3 naman connects to an intranet for access to and from internal networks. So the next reporter, sorry, nakalat ang hindi nasama yung the firewall, types of firewalls. So babalik ko lang. We have here the next generation firewalls. Next generation firewalls are able to block more sophisticated and evolving security threats like advanced malware. It's not only inspecting the packet header but also a packet contents and secure. So I have here a video. So, next generation.
But they don't protect you against advanced threats that can put you out of business easily because they don't inspect the payload of the packets coming in. That's why businesses today opt for next-generation firewalls. NGFW have advanced features, specifically their ability to inspect every individual packet for malicious payloads. Unified Threat Management consolidates multiple security and network functions, such as antivirus, protects against the latest viruses, spyware, and other content-level threats. Web content filtering blocks access to malicious, hacked, or inappropriate websites. Web filtering is the first line of defense against web-based attacks. Application control creates the ability to allow, deny, or restrict access to applications or entire categories of applications, which helps keep malicious, risky, and unwanted applications out of your network. protection, key to stopping today's sophisticated and targeted attacks. But all of this can be complicated, which is why businesses turn to TPX to help. With TPX, you have seasoned, certified security professionals working for you to configure, deploy, and assume the management of your next-generation firewalls for a price you can afford, making your business more...
We also have the virtual firewalls. The virtual firewall, this type of firewall is used to assess and manage internet traffic over both physical and virtual networks. An appliance used in a cloud-based system, both private and public. So here is another video for virtual firewall. That's my report. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. My topic for today is about firewalls categorized by processing nodes. Packet filtering. Packet filtering is a firewall technique used to control network access by monitoring outgoing and incoming packets and allowing them to pass or halt based on the source and destination Internet Protocol addresses or IP address, protocols, and ports. Packet filtering is also known as static filtering. So, ang packet filtering, yan ang nagblock in mga malicious files ng iyaga po ni mag-a-allow to pass based on the IP addresses. Based on the IP address, protocols, and ports.
Here is a diagram about the packet filtering router.
Application gateways. An application gateway or application level gateway (ALG) is a firewall proxy which provides network security. It filters incoming node traffic to certain specification, which means that only transmitted network application data is filtered. So in application gateways, yan yan nag-filtered ang mga incoming node traffic specification, which means that only transmitted network application data is filtered.
Also called the proxy server, who acts as relay of application level traffic.
Circuit gateways. A circuit level gateway is a firewall that provides user data program protocol or UDP and transmission control protocol or TCP connection security and works between an open system interconnection network models transport and application layers such as the session layer. So, ini nga circuit gateways nag-create niyahin new connection between itself ngan an iya destination.
Connections but thus no extra processing or filtering of the protocol.
The MAC layer gateway or MAC layer gateway. The MAC layer is responsible for moving data packets to and from one network interference card to another across a shared channel. Different protocols are used for different shared networks such as Ethernet, token rings, token buses, and WAN. So, ang MAC layer gateways, ini ang nagbigamit to move packets from one network interference card across to another shared channel.
Known as the Media Access Control Layer Firewall.
Hybrids. Firewalls, packet filtering firewalls, circuit gateways, application firewalls, or proxies. Hybrid firewalls. Firewall is a device and a software that stands between a local network and the internet and filters traffic that might be harmful. For example, a hybrid firewall system might include a packet filtering firewall that is set up to screen all the acceptable requests, then pass the request to proxy server, which in turn requests service from web server gig inside the organization network. First generation firewalls were relatively simple filter systems called packet filter firewalls, but they made today's highly complex security technology for computer networks possible. Packet filter firewalls, also referred to as stateless firewalls, filtered out and drop traffic based on filtering rules. So, nahimo ini na first generation firewalls in late 1980. It is developed as attack on personal computers through antivirus products. Second generation. The second generation of firewalls introduced the concept of keeping track on the connection state or stateful inspection. The stateful firewall uses the network and transport layers to keep track of connections between computers. This enhancement to just packet filtering helped to improve the network security. So, due to internet attacks on networks, asya naglid ini nga asyang kahimo ini nga second generation firewalls to internet attacks. Third generation. A next generation firewall is a part of third generation of firewall technology that is implemented in either hardware or software and is capable of detecting and blocking sophisticated attacks by enforcing security policies and application port and protocol levels. So, ano ini nga NGFW? What is a next generation firewall? A next generation firewall is a network security device that provides capabilities beyond a traditional stateful firewalls. While a traditional firewall typically provides stateful inspection of incoming and outgoing network traffic. A next-generation firewall includes additional features like application awareness and control, integrated intrusion, integrated intrusion prevention, and cloud-delivered threat intelligence. Fourth-generation firewalls. Fourth-generation firewalls are also known as stateful firewalls. Most important upgrade from first-generation firewalls is the ability to keep track of the TCP connection state. Greatly prevents hacker access. Firewalls are able to determine if packets are part of a new connection or if existing connection. Fifth generation firewall. Fifth generation security is marked by key advancements over the prior fourth generation security. So, bagan nag-upgrade lalo. Consolidate the next generation firewall, sandbox, boot security, endpoint security, and other security controls into a single unified security system. Shares real-time threat information throughout the system. So, kung baga hindi bagan bintarang tulay ra usan na unified security system. Tama ba?
So, an example on firewall categories from first generation to the fifth generation.
Information security VPN. One of the information security are the VPN. What is VPN? A VPN or virtual private network is a service that creates a safe, encrypted online connection. Internet users may use a VPN to give themselves more privacy and anonymity online or circumvent geographic-based blocking and censorship. Ang VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. The best nga meaning niya is the private network. Ang pinaka-basic na meaning na VPN is private network. I know na narinig or nakagamit ka na ng VPN pero hindi natin alam kung ano yung gamit niya or ang meaning. Especially kung gamer tayo, like nagpe-play tayo ng Mobile Legends, sure ako na nakagamit ka na ng VPN. Ang VPN ay isang app or services na nagpapahiram sa atin ng temporary na IP address. Usually, kapag kumokonek tayo sa isang internet connection, meron tayong IP address na naka-designated lamang para sa atin. At yun yung galing sa ISP or ang Internet Service Provider. Ang ISP or Internet Service Provider, example are PLDT, Globe, Smart, Sun, or kung saan man tayo nakakonect. Meron tayong designated IP address at yun yung katumbas ng house number natin or yung current location natin. Sa tuwing mag-online tayo, like browsing online, YouTube, downloading videos, especially kung nanonood kayo ng porn, nakikita yun ng ISP natin or ibig sabihin, nakikita yon ng Smart or Globe. So, kung mahilig tayo mag-download ng kung ano-anong video, especially porn, rest assured na nakikita yon ni ISP or Smart or Globe. Example na lang is sa mall. Di ba may mga public wifi doon, may mga server network. May nagmamanage ng public wifi. Siya yung tinitingnan ng nagmamanage ng wifi ng public wifi na yon yung mga ginagawa natin during online activities. Kung yung nagmamanage na yan is medyo pasaway or pwede niyang baguhin yung ating mga password sa Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or etc. Pwede din niyang bawasan yung ating mga ng mga pera sa ating mga bank account. Yun yung tinatawag na mga hacker. May mga types of hackers, may mga mababait at may mga masasama rin. Doon na papasok si VPN. Yung ginagawa ni VPN is nagpapahiram siya ng IP address at lahat ng mga websites na binisit natin, dinownload na mga videos is hindi na siya makikita ng ISP natin. Kahit na kumunik pa tayo sa public Wi-Fi network. Like, mag-browse ka online, change our password, open ng ating bank account, paying bills, shop online, is hindi na siya makikita ng mga nagmamanage or kahit sinong hacker na sa public Wi-Fi. Doon makikita natin na pinaka the best at useful ang VPN. Pinapahiram kasi tayo nila ng IP address. Usually, yung mga IP address na yon is galing pa sa ibang bansa. How does VPN work? A VPN hides your IP address by letting the network redirect it through a specially configured remote service run by a VPN host. This means na if mag-search tayo online with a VPN, the VPN server becomes the source of your data. This means na yung internet service provider natin or yung other third parties like mga hackers, hindi nila makikita yung mga websites na binisit natin or mga data na sinend or na-receive natin online. A VPN works like a filter that turns all your data into gibberish. Even if someone were to get their hands on your data, it would be useless. Yung VPN is pinifilter niya yung lahat ng data into gibberish or mga basura. Meron akong hinandang video about how VPN works. Let's play na lang natin.
Let's be honest, we've all done it. We're all so busy and working from anywhere we can find decent Wi-Fi that we've all shared some really private data in a public place. Whether we're banking online, we're just talking to friends about something personal. Our data's safe enough when we surf, right? Whenever we're online, any hacker wannabe who knows how to download an eavesdropping tool can watch what you're doing. Because here's what's happening. You send data from your computer to someone else's computer over a big pipe with everyone else's data running through it. Anyone who wants to peek in there and read your data totally can. And it's even easier when we're on public Wi-Fi. Listen, you want to go about your life online, but you don't want to be on everybody's radar. Well, what if you could hide your data just by pushing a button? What if you weren't you when you went online? What if you were just some rando? That's the idea behind with everyone's info. Some rando gives you your own private pipe inside the internet that nobody else can see into, and it scrambles all the data it sends through it, so you're double protected. That's called a VPN, and that's an awesome thing to use whenever you're online, especially on public Wi-Fi. Some rando even has geo-relocation services built in, so you can get around location-based content filters in your area. Think of it like super nerdy geek tech for the rest of us. High-tech protection at the click of a button. Your security and privacy are important. We should all be using some kind of VPN.
So, yun lamang yung video about how VPN works. Next, VPN protocols. VPN protocols ensure an appropriate level of security to connected systems when the underlying network infrastructures alone cannot provide it. There are several different protocols used to secure and encrypt users and corporate data. The most common protocols are point-to-point tunneling protocol, PPTP, L2TP or IPsec, OpenVPN, Secure Sockets Layer SSL, and Transport Layer Security or TLS. Ang Point-to-Point Tunneling Protocol or PPTP has been around since the days of Windows 95. It can be easily set up on every major OS. Yung PPTP protocols is still strong hiya pero hindi siya most secure na protocol. Next is L2TP or IPsec. L2TP over IPsec is more secure than PPTP and nag-o-offer siya ng more features. L2TP or IPsec is a way of implementing two protocols together in order to gain the best features of each. Next is OpenVPN. The software used is open source and freely available siya. OpenVPN can run on a single UDP or TCP port, making it extremely flexible. Next, Secure Sockets Layer or SSL and Transport Layer Security TLS. Benefits of a VPN connection. Secure encryption. Challenges of using a VPN. Not all devices may support a VPN. Hindi lahat ng devices or like mga smartphone, computers is nasusupport ng VPN. Next, paid VPNs are more trusted, secure options. Yung paid VPNs is more trusted siya kaysa sa mga free na VPN and it offers more and it secure options. Next is a VPN may slow down internet speeds. Yung VPN is probably hindi siya laging nagpapalakas ng ating internet speeds. Pwede din siyang magpa-slow down ng ating internet speeds. Next is there are still limitations to anonymity through VPNs. For example, browser fingerprinting can still be done. Ang VPN is may mga limitations to anonymity din. Next is VPNs do not protect against every threat. Hindi lahat ng threat is napoprotektahan ng VPNs. VPN privacy. What does a VPN hide? A VPN can hide a lot of information that can put your privacy at risk. Here are 5 of them. Number 1 is your browsing history. 2, your IP address and location. 3, your location for streaming. 4, your devices. 5, your web activity. Number 1 is your browsing history. It's no secret when you go on the internet. Walang sekreto kung pupunta tayo sa internet. Your internet service provider and your web browsers is tinatrack niya yung mga bagay-bagay na ginagawa natin during online activities on internet. A lot of the websites you visit can also keep a history. Web browsers can track your search history and tie that information to your IP address. Next is your IP address and location. Anyone who captures your IP address can access what you've been searching on the internet and where you were located when you search. Lahat ng if anyone nga nakakapture sa imo or nakakita ng IP address mo is ma-access na niya yung mga sinearch mo online and kung saan ka nag-search na location. Think of your IP address as the return address you'd put on a letter. It leads back to your devices. Since since we use a VPN, IP address that you since gumagamit tayo ng VPN, gumagamit siya ng IP address na hindi sa'yo. It allows you to maintain your it allows us to maintain yung mga online ng privacy natin and search the web anonymously. You're also protected against having your search history gathered, viewed, or sold. Next is your location for streaming. You might pay for streaming services that enable you to watch things like professional sports. When you travel outside the country, the streaming service may not be available. There are good reasons for this. Next is your devices. A VPN can help protect your device, including yung mga desktop computer natin, laptop, tablet, either smartphone or mobile phone from prying eyes. Your devices can be prime targets para sa mga cyber criminals when mag-access na tayo ng internet, especially if nasa public Wi-Fi network tayo. In short, yung VPN is nag-help sa atin na maprotektahan na yung mga data na sinend or na-receive natin sa ating devices. So, yung hacker is hindi na siya makakita or ma-watch our every move. Next is your web activity. To maintain internet freedom. Hopefully, you're not a candidate for government surveillance, but who knows? Remember, ang VPN is nagpo-protect sa atin against your internet service provider seeing your browsing history. Di ba kung kumandidato tayo sa government surveillance is kailangan natin ipakita yung mga ginawa natin or sinearch natin online. So, pag gumamit tayo ng VPN is hindi nila makikita yung mga na sinearch natin, like if nag-download tayo, nanood tayo ng porn, like that. Your VPN can help protect your internet freedom. Brief overview of how it works. 2 connections. Yung isa is made from the internet and the second is made from the VPN. The next is the datagrams. Yung datagrams is siya yung nagko-contains ng mga data, destinations, and yung mga source informations natin. Next is firewalls. Hindi tayo makakapass through sa firewalls if yung VPNs is hindi siya mag-allow ng unauthorized users. Next is protocols. Yung protocols is siya yung nag-create ng VPN tunnels. 4 critical functions. Authentication, access control, confidentiality, data integrity. For authentication, is siya yung nagbabalidate ng mga data na na-send from the sender. Next is access control. Limited lang yung mga makaka-access ng network, especially kung hindi ka unauthorized users, hindi ka makaka-access ng network. Next is confidentiality, preventing the data to be read. Confidentiality is yung VPN is nagpe-prevent ng ating mga data para hindi mabasa or makopy ng mga hackers. Data integrity, ensuring that the data has not been altered. VPN advantages. cost-effective, greater scalability, easy to add or remove users, mobility, security. VPN disadvantages: understanding of security issues, unpredictable internet traffic, difficult to accommodate products from different vendors. Industries that may use a VPN: healthcare, manufacturing, retail, banking, financial, general business. In healthcare, enables the transferring of confidential patient information within the medical facilities and health care provider. Next is manufacturing. Allows suppliers to view inventory and allows clients to purchase online safely. Next is retail. Enable to securely transfer sales data or customers info between stores and the headquarters. Next is banking or financial. Enables account information to be transferred safely within department and branches. Next is general business. Communication between remotely employees can be safely exchanged. Sa healthcare is nag-implement ng VPN yung patient information, kumbaga may confidentiality na nagaganap. Manufacturing. Sa manufacturing is nag-a-allow siya na sa suppliers to view inventory and nag-a-allow din yung client to purchase online safely. Next is retail. In retail, we can securely transfer sales data or customers info between in stores and the headquarters. Next is banking financial. In banking or in financials, yung account information na to be transferred is yung account or informations is safely transferred within the department and branches. General business. Communication between remote employees can be securely exchanged. Types of VPN. Remote access VPN and the site-to-site VPN. Remote access VPN is employee to business. Remote access VPN is a user-to-LAN connection used by a company that has employees who need to connect to the private network from various remote location. A good example of a company nga kailangan ng remote access VPN is the large firm with hundreds of salespeople in the field. Next is site-to-site VPN. Ang site-to-site VPN is nahati sa dalawa: intranet-based VPN and extranet-based VPN. Intranet VPN is within an organization. Nasa loob siya ng isang organization. If a company has one or more remote locations that they wish to join in a single private network, they can create an intranet VPN to connect LAN to LAN. The next is extranet. Outside an organization, nasa labas na organization. When a company has a close relationship with another company, for example, a partner, supplier, or customer, they can build an extranet VPN that connects to LAN to LAN. Nag-a-allow din siya ng mga iba't ibang companies to work with a shared environment.